Perched on the side of the Jebel Dersa mountain, the white expanse of Tétouan stretches out in the sun of northern Morocco. In the first half of the 20th century, this city was the capital of the Spanish protectorate. Its architecture and music bear testimony to a far older Andalusian legacy. Violin, lute and percussion. The musicians wear white, a sign of prestige and pomp. Tétouan is famed for its Medina. Townsfolk in white djellabas pass down its narrow streets. It's Friday, the most important day of prayer in the week. A symbol of purity, the white djellaba made of wool or light fabric is part of a long tradition. The centre and south of Morocco remains profoundly rural, and that is where the wool is worked. In the foothills of the Middle Atlas, the most prestigious and most sought-after white wool djellabas in the kingdom are made. Here, in the rural town of Bzou, is where the best cloth is to be found. Every Friday in the souk, rolls of fabric are sold at auction. The weavers give their cloth to a crier who acts as auctioneer. The stakes are high. The fine pieces of material fetch a high price because they require a great deal of labor. Fatima Zara equitably redistributes the proceeds of the sale to the women in her fabric cooperative. Fatima has set up the cooperative's workshop in her garden.
For us, white symbolises the sacred. It's the colour of decorum. Making a Bzouia Jalaba is an artisanal practice done by hand by the women of Bzou. My mother learnt this technique from her grandmother, who learned it from her mother. It's an ancient skill which is handed down from generation to generation.
In Morocco, the white djellaba from Bzou is worn by the king, members of parliament and other dignitaries. The cloth is entirely made by hand, a long traditional task which takes a single woman around 6 months.
Making a Bzouia Jalaba involves several stages, and it requires a great deal of time. Compared to other Jalabas, these ones are fashioned with great care. It takes patience and precision because there are many stages and details to respect. Then the Jalaba is given to the dressmaker, and here's the result.
The vast empty beaches of the Atlantic coast to the south give way to the urbanism of modern Morocco to the north. Once, Spanish sailors used to identify a small fishing port on this coast thanks to a white house perched on a hill, La Casablanca. Several centuries later, the White House on the hill has become a white megalopolis, Casablanca, the economic capital of Morocco. Casablanca is home to Mohammed, a taxi driver with a passion for architecture.
Here is our city of Casablanca. What I like about the city is its climate. It's very pleasant. The summers are hot and the winters are cold. I like this climate. My mother was born here, and so was I. You see this neighborhood? The French built it when they arrived in Casablanca. The buildings, the hotels, they built it all. There are some architectural wonders, and despite their age, they are still standing.
Starting in 1912, the city's booming economy under the Protectorate led the French to create a new town with a business district and residential buildings all from scratch. A new generation of architects from the Fine Art School in Paris innovated with elements of Art Nouveau, Neoclassicism and Art Deco. Casablanca is today an open-air school where young Moroccan architects like Labib study this heritage which blends European and Moroccan cultures.
This building is the Assayac building. It was built in 1930 by Marius Boyer. It really stands out against the sky. The vertical aspect was the project's fundamental idea. In other words, to send Casablanca soaring. They wanted to build high, and this is one of the first really tall buildings. The people of Casablanca today say that these are European buildings, that they don't belong to them. Today, the message is to say no, there are things which are very much inspired by Moroccan culture. You see that much more on Boulevard Mohammed V, where they used zelig, mosaics and ceramics, and genuine Moroccan craftsmanship. So that speaks more to the Moroccan people.
Auguste Perret, Marius Boyer, Edmond Briand. These French architects strive to experiment with the latest discoveries in housing materials and comfort. They also benefited from the know-how of traditional Moroccan skills, taking inspiration from current international trends in architecture and using innovative technologies like reinforced concrete. Casablanca was then the laboratory of architectural modernity for a whole era.
All these buildings are the legacy of the period of the French Protectorate. The architecture of certain buildings is amazing. Now this is a part of the Moroccan national heritage. Casablanca is my home. I love the city's charm and I could never leave here.